The following podcast will contain spoilers, tangents, hot takes, and excessive foul language. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Frightmares Podcast. I'm your host, Austin Proctor, and joining me today for episode 357 is my lovely wife, Gabrielle Proctor.
I'm here.
You're here. Okay. Today we are discussing The Haunting from 1963, where the real villain here is Victorian architecture. A texture. Oh. What did I say? Architecture. Is that right?
You said texture, not texture.
Architecture?
Architecture.
Yeah, I said architecture.
You added an X in there?
First episode of the year, off to a great start. It's already
how a building feels.
Did you hear the punchline though? Where the real villain here is the Victorian architecture. I said it. Fuck.
It's how a building, just like, texturally, does it feel smooth,
Jesus
rough?
Christ.
Does it feel homophobic?
Yeah, we'll get into that. More about that later. This episode is already
homophobic feeling of a building.
Stop. The episode is already late because it's supposed to drop on Wednesday, and it is Wednesday.
We're doing it.
I'm so far behind on everything. So new year, kind of new format, same excellent conversation. I wanted to get into some, housekeeping things, I guess. Just wanted to go over some small changes. One, we're going to be loosening up on the rule that I completely made up, as Lacey pointed out to me. My eyes have been opened ever since she said, it's a rule that you made up, and it's very true, that a movie must be listed horror on IMDb, just to kind of broaden our scope of what we review. What?
I like that I've said that to you, but apparently you needed a completely different person to say it to you for that to
I don't ever remember
register.
you saying that to me.
Like
or maybe I do, and then someone else validating you made me be like, well, shit, maybe we should. So we're going to make that. It's not like we're going to be reviewing fucking rom-coms or like Westerns.
Not that attitude.
Okay. But, like an example, horror movie or a horror adjacent movie, like Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Hell yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily listed horror on IMDb, but any alien invasion to me, horrifying. We're also going to be dialing back the segmented format we normally do, where we hit all these specific fucking points just to give the episode a more natural flow, as opposed to me stopping a conversation sometimes, to talk about a fucking favorite character. And last but not least, we are introducing the Nightmare Index. Let me explain. From here on out, I'm going to make a running list based on our ratings, IMDb's ratings, and Letterboxd ratings to determine a score for each movie. Then they'll get added to the list, and I'll tell you where that movie falls. Obviously, since this is the first episode, the first few episodes are going to be like, this is where it is. There's not much to compare it to, but as time goes on, there will be more and more. So let's say I give a movie a 4, you give it a 3.5. It has a 3.2 on Letterboxd and a 6.9 on IMDb. Obviously, you have to have the IMDb score, because out of 10 is fucking stupid. And then you add them all up, divided by 4. So the example in this instance would be a 3.54 out of 5. We're going to do 2 decimal points to, get a really good list going here.
So what he's saying is...
Oh, here we go.
We're taking out the format and we're adding in math.
No one has to do math.
I think you're going to have to.
Yeah, very simply. I've already, just shush, okay? It's very simple. Anyways. Math. And we do have a theme for the entire year, which we have dubbed the Monsters of the Month Club, where we're going to be tackling a different monster, entity, being, or antagonist in horror movies. Obviously, this month, Hauntuary Manor, not necessarily a monster, but,
It's an entity.
It is an entity. It was just easier to say Monsters of the Month Club than the...
You're welcome.
Than the entity of the month club, so... so it might not be necessarily a physical monster, but like I said, I think I said this already, we have vampires and werewolves and ghosts, oh my. So
Wait till we get to the Oh My's month.
I know. Oh My's is going to be a lot of fun. So yes, I do present to you for January, Hauntuary Manor, where every door creaks, every shadow whispers, and the rent is paid in screams. Without further ado, let's jump into the cold open. This is going to be where we talk about what we've recently watched, and we're going to be talking spoilers about things. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, there's always timestamps in the comments, but we have to talk about It Welcome to Derry, because Jesus Christ, what a fucking show.
Yeah, that was, from the get-go, that first episode, you and I were just like jaws dropped, and we're like, I don't know what's going to happen after this.
Can you talk like that for the rest of the episode?
Yeah.
You don't even fucking see Pennywise until like episode 4, I think. He doesn't even pop like as Pennywise. I think
it was like 5 or 6. It was way back in there, man.
It was deep in there.
Yeah.
And then he pops up and you're like, I hate this so much more than in a horror way. Obviously, I thought it was I think it's one of the strongest first seasons to any show ever. That's my hot take on that. It's so goddamn good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So stressful. It's like you already kind of knew what to expect with the first 2 movies. And you're like, okay, I know what I'm kind of getting into. And they're like, no, you fucking don't.
They're having
how about
fun with
that
it?
on crack? Best of luck.
And while the CG at many times is very wonky, the imagery that's on screen is so horrifying. I forgive it, honestly. They're having way too much fucking fun with all these crazy monsters, and I'm here for it. And they're going to be doing season 2 and 3. And like I speculated to, I don't know if I speculated to you, but I know I speculated to Spencer that, because this one took place in 1963, and they had like 1 or 2 scenes from 1908. And I was like, okay, my prediction is that season 2 is going to go to 35 and season 3 is 1908. And they confirm that is exactly what's happening.
It makes sense.
Which is, well, yeah, but I was like, why would they introduce me to something in 1908? Because there's only they have that one scene where he walks into the woods with that kid. Never go back to that again. And I'm like, are they going to wait till season 3 to expand on that? Because like, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Talk about a setup. But man, it's such a great show. So many strong performances too from all the child actors. I don't think there's one like weak performance from the kids.
No, they did excellent work.
Excellent
and some
casting.
of the like most heartbreaking scenes, parts of those were improvised by the kids. And you're like, Jesus, what are you gonna do as adults?
R.I.P. Richie.
Oh, sweet
Ricky?
baby Ricky.
Ricky.
No, Richie, because it is Richie. She names her son Richie after Richie.
Yeah. Time is.
Someone's like, that's his father. Like, bro.
No.
Yeah,
time is not linear for old Pennywise there. It's very much a la Arrival, where towards the end of that movie, spoilers on that, I guess, they reveal that time isn't linear for the aliens or whatever.
Yeah, it's more like The Good Place, where it looks like Jeremy Blaramy written in cursive.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And I think I know they said they're not going to do like crank out a season every year, but they're also not going to pull a Stranger Things and wait 15 years to release seasons, because it's just ridiculous. So
I think max 2 years between seasons honestly makes the most sense, because you want to make sure people are still interested,
right?
But not do it so quick that it's rushed. And
exactly, like Yellow Jackets has been almost a 2-year gap in every season, and it's a very strong show.
Yeah, I believe there was a 2-year gap for House of the Dragon, which I actually bothered. Didn't watch Game of Thrones. I watched part of Game of Thrones, but I'm like, House of the Dragon, I'm in for that for some reason.
You just read spoilers for everything in Game of Thrones instead of watching the show, and that actually sounds like a great idea, because I tried.
Oh, yeah.
I have tried.
Oh, I followed
thrice.
along. I got to the point where 2 of the characters met up, and then I was just it was too distracting, and I couldn't focus on anything else I was doing. So I was like, I give up. I have to stop watching this.
Done.
But I had already read all the spoilers for everything. So there's some stuff I don't know, but I know all the important stuff.
Good Lord. If you want to check out It Welcome to Derry, it is on Max. And I have to say, the Richie giving Pennywise the middle finger was one of the greatest shots from 2025.
Oh, yeah.
So great.
MVP move. What are you going to do to me now? I'm a ghost, bitch.
Yeah. Oh, and also I have to say that I did not expect to get this much of like Dick Hanlon's story.
Halloran.
Hanlon. Who am I thinking of? Hanlon. Who the fuck is Hanlon?
It's a different book entirely.
Dick Halloran gets a lot of, like, just the continuity between his story in The Shining, Doctor Sleep, and this. Apparently, we need to watch Castle Rock because if you go, like, it's really good, apparently, and I've always wanted to watch it. But if you go watch Castle Rock, it'll, like, some of the things in Welcome to Derry will just, like, blow your mind. But
I want to see it.
I did not expect to get this much information on the character from The Shining, and I love it. And it's so consistent, and I'm here for it. Because how much trouble can a hotel be? Next, Stranger Things. The hot button issue, I don't know. A hot button thing right now is Stranger Things. Love it or hate it, it's back. I don't know. It's fun.
Back and it's gone.
I don't like it. I'm fine with it. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I don't know. I gave the finale, and I specifically rated the finale episode like a 3.5 on Letterboxd because you can rate it. Weirdly, you can rate the finale.
Because it was in theaters, remember?
Oh, yeah, true. I don't know. I mean, a lot of me liked the things they were doing. Like, I particularly liked the wormhole explanation. I thought that was fun. Apparently, a lot of people hated that. Mm-hmm. Thought it was stupid. Kind of took everything the Upside Down was and made it different. But we really never knew what the Upside Down was. It was
never mystical. They just used it only felt mystical because they were using D&D to make it make sense.
Yeah.
But Hawkins had a science lab. It was all science.
Science.
Now
bitch.
there's some mystical elements to it. Like, how the hell there was this magic stone thing. Like, there's some elements of wonder to it, but there's a lot of science involved, and I feel like people kind of forgot that.
Well, when you take 3 years in between each fucking season, I mean, when they were showing clips from the first season and the finale, I was like, Christ, are those even the same people?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 10 years of this show. 9, I guess, because it started in 2016. I was still working at IKEA then.
Yeah.
My God. I don't know. It's fine. I still have one question, though. Why, Vecna? I don't get it. World domination? Okay, what's the next step after that? You enslave the entire human population to do what? What's the end goal? Like, that was my biggest thing. I just did not, okay, you want to merge these worlds. That's great. Why?
I got nothing.
I don't understand. There's really, I don't know. Maybe they explained it and I missed it. I don't know. But, and then I have to say that Will stopping everything in the midst of the world ending just to come out, it was like timing, Will. Like, we all knew it and we're all okay with it. It's fine. Maybe tell us that, after the world's not in, like right in the middle of their plan, he's like, by the way.
I just thought it was, and granted, I've never had to come out.
Not with that attitude.
Any day now. I don't know that experience, but to say the phrase, he showed me just unimaginable, horrible, awful things, sounds a lot more like body mutilating horror, watching all your friends die in front of your face. And then it was, what he showed me was that I told you guys I was gay and then we never spoke again.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can understand why personally that would feel absolutely devastating and heartbreaking.
Sure.
Unimaginable, horrible things. That scale felt a little skewed. I don't know that I'd phrase it like that, but I've never lived that experience. Maybe that is the most horrific thing Will could possibly think of, which is weird given everything they've been through.
A little
but
bit.
It's not my place to judge. But yeah, he did spend an inordinate amount of time getting to the point in that conversation.
Yeah.
Though shout out to Finn Wolfhard's face the entire time where he's like, yeah, so I liked somebody.
What?
Just side-eye, like,
yeah.
Who was that?
Also, I don't know what happened to the Demobats in season 4, but those they introduced those to kill Eddie and then they were gone. That was very strange.
Yeah, I think, so because Vecna had been kind of laying low, nobody could find him. The theory is that most of those creatures had been absorbed into that giant physical... Because remember, when Vecna meets the Mind Flayer, it is just a big cloud of smoke.
True.
So now he's got a giant fleshy body in that other world. So the idea is that maybe they were growing them to absorb into that giant body. Because that giant body had to come from somewhere.
Fair. I don't know.
And there ain't shit all on that planet. And people are like... If he likes the cold, then why is he on that Mars-like planet? Mars is cold.
It's cold. Fun fact, everything beyond Earth is much colder.
Yeah, and fun fact, a desert doesn't equal hot.
No. And quite literally, there are Antarctica is considered a desert.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Yeah, there you go.
So, Stranger Things, it's fine. It could have been so much worse. It really could have.
That's true.
But I feel like it could have been better in some ways. But I'm not going to sit here and say it was terrible, it sucked, because I couldn't come up with anything better. And I love when people are online saying, it sucked. And I'm always like, give me a better ending then. Let's hear your thoughts. If it was so terrible, then you have to have something that you would have wanted to see. Lay it out.
I got nothing.
Other than that, I saw a few new movies that I just want to briefly touch on. I saw something called We Bury the Dead. It was a screener sent over from Pixel Scene Media. It is a new kind of zombie-esque movie with Daisy Ridley. I quite enjoyed it. It had a very interesting storyline. It was nice to see Daisy Ridley in something again, even though she's done 7 things between the last Star Wars movie and this movie. Nah, I haven't heard of any of them except for one thing, so that's weird. Watched a movie called Sorority of the Damned, sent over by AV Entertainment, starring Felissa Rose. It is a horror comedy. And if you couldn't tell by the title, yes, it is very much a B movie. Very much Night of the Demons meets like, Sorority Row, maybe?
Seems likely.
Seems likely. And then we watched Mutilator 2. Let me tell you, I don't usually say don't bother with movies. My thing is everyone should check out a movie. And I like it just because it didn't work for me doesn't mean it won't work for you.
Maybe we didn't get it.
Maybe I didn't get it. Maybe I missed the bit, but it's not going to be something that I recommend. I won't be like, hey, you need to watch this, because boy, it's like Buddy Cooper tried to capture the magic twice, because the original Mutilator, very campy, very cheesy, great practical effects. And you pointed out something very interesting. It's like when you have a polished movie with a crystal clear image and like nice sound design and lighting, and you have that acting that's from the 80s, doesn't fit. It just feels weird.
When you have low budget acting with high, and I'm not saying it's like high budget, but when the film looks good,
production quality.
Yeah, the production quality is pretty decent.
Yeah.
But your acting and your storyline isn't there. Everything kind of needs to be on the same level to a certain extent. Like if I have a absolutely insane like Christopher Nolan looking film, but I got the people who are who've never done anything but commercial work their whole life, and it shows. I don't care how nice the film looks now. I'm really struggling to believe these are real people.
Yeah.
And that they're not reading cue cards.
Yeah, I think we're in this weird period of time where it's incredibly not easy. I don't mean easy. I just mean it's very easy to make a movie look pretty high quality these days.
Yes.
Because we have literally, I mean, you can film something on your phone and
the quality of cameras has gone up while the cost has gone down exponentially.
Yeah. And while we both know lighting isn't easy, if you have someone who knows how to light a scene, I mean, it's very easy to make I say easy in air quotes, to make a movie look good, just because we have so much more stuff readily available. So we're in this weird period where things look great, but for example, like Popeye's Revenge looked pretty good. Terrible movie. So we're in this very weird period. At least in the 80s, if a movie wasn't good, you're like, I can tell, because the quality is not that great on some of them. But anyways,
I what I need to do is there's this this guy who reviews these awful like Christian movies that are like
the Christian horror movies.
No, not Christian horror movies. They're just these Christian movies that just have really silly plots. Like one is the Christian version of 50 Shades of Grey, which is kind of just creepy stalking, minus the sex. And I'm going to show you a clip of one of those later.
Okay.
It was like watching that.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, but there's a guy who reviews how terrible those are.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
All right, well, enough of that, I suppose. Let's move on to the body count.
There it is.
Coming in with all hot new sound effects. This is the IMDb roundup. We're just naming it more fun things. This is The Haunting from 1963, released on September 18th of that year in the U.S. Rated G. No sex and nudity, mild violence and gore, mild profanity, mild alcohol, drugs, and smoking, and moderate frightening and intense scenes. Coming in at an hour and 52 minutes, listed as a straight-up horror movie. Directed by Robert Wise, who also directed The Day the Earth Stood Still, 1951, West Side Story, 1961, and The Sound of Music.
Oh.
That's why I didn't want you to look him up.
Well, there you go.
Because The Sound of Music, I thought, was like, that's everything that's a wild difference from The Sound of Music to, what?
Nothing. Go ahead. Finish your sentence.
I was done.
Oh, I just think it's funny that when we were watching this movie, certainly wouldn't have picked Sound of Music guy.
Yeah.
But what I think is funny here is when one of the characters walked up on screen. I've seen West Side Story once. I looked at him and I'm like, that guy. I know that guy. He's in that musical. And for the life of me, West Side Story just would not enter my head. I just had guys and dolls in there, but different movies.
You said it was remade, and then it took me a second. I was like, West Side Story.
Yeah, so eventually you helped me figure out what the hell movie I was thinking of, because I could have sung you bits of the songs.
I'm sure you could.
But I was like, yeah, seen that movie once, clocked that guy immediately, West Side Story, and same director. So obviously they like working together.
Oh, I see. I was like, what's the point of that? Sorry. I was like, are we getting somewhere with this?
Because he was in West Side Story.
Did I get lost in the sauce? This is written by Nelson Gidding, who also wrote The Andromeda Strain. This is based on The Haunting of Hill House, written by Shirley Jackson. Composed by Humphrey Searle, who also did 4 episodes of Doctor Who in 1965. Cinematography by Davis Bolton. He also did the cinematography for a movie called Children of the Damned.
Nice.
Edited by Ernest Walter, who did not do anything else I recognize, but he was the visual coordinator on Superman, 1978,
Nice.
Which is really cool. Starring Julie Harris as Eleanor Lance. She was in 165 episodes of whatever the fuck Knots Landing is as Lily Mae Clements. Then we have Claire Bloom as Theodora. She was in Clash of the Titans as Hera, 1981.
Nice. I haven't seen that in forever.
Richard Johnson as Dr. John Markaway, who played another doctor, and Lucille Fulci Zombie as Dr. Menard. Russ Tamblyn as Luke Sanderson. He was in West Side Story as Riff. And then I don't know why I put many more people on here, because that's really it. I mean, you do have Russ Tamblyn as Faye Compton as Mrs. Sanderson, who was also in Othello as Amelia. Estimated Othello, sorry. Estimated budget of $1.4 million, apparently only grossing $847. I don't think that's accurate, but that is not a typo. Not a typo. This was filmed in various cities around England and the UK, and you can watch this on Amazon, Apple TV, and Fandango at home for a $3.99 rental. Movies that came out around the same time, let me blow your mind with a whole bunch of shit you've never heard of. Come Blow Your Horn. Mm-hmm. Cleopatra, I've heard of that, I think. Blood Feast, The Great Escape, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, and The Sword and the Stone.
I've seen 2.
Sorry, I didn't mean stuff you haven't heard. I mean very little things. Those are 2 different. You've seen The Sword and the Stone.
Yeah, obviously.
And you've seen The Great Escape.
Hell yeah, I have.
Yeah. Whatever the fuck Come Blow Your Horn is, it sounds fun. IMDb summary, Hill House has stood for 90 years and appears haunted. Its inhabitants have always met strange, tragic ends. Now Dr. John Markaway has assembled a team of people who he thinks will prove whether or not the house is haunted. This is The Haunting from 1963. I don't know if I'm going to play the trailer anymore, because I've been hit with copyright, like where it partially blocks it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, in an attempt to not have Spotify deal with, do that, because they've done that on like the Rocky Horror Picture episode. I had to take out all the music from that episode because they're like, this is copyright. I'm like, I'm not fucking, what's the thing? You can use
not
stuff?
Monetized, guys.
I'm not monetized. Isn't this fair use? So I think in an attempt to not deal with that later, because that episode was 3 years ago and I got hit with that 6 months ago. I think we're just going to skip the trailer. So let's hop into the autopsy. Yeah. Blood, guts, sounds. We're still going to start with overall thoughts. So hit me with your overall thoughts on The Haunting.
Well, let's see. I only have my movie-related knowledge of the story.
I'll break it down. Don't worry.
They all differ from each other. So kind of going in vaguely blind, you kind of got to wait to see what the characters they're going to do to get an idea of where you're headed. I already knew Mike Flanagan's was his own creation around that story, so that kind of eliminated that. But I thought this had a lot of really cool and interesting things, especially for the time. how they decided to tell the story. I was briefly distracted by the fact that it was in black and white given the year, but then you explained to me that that was an intentional choice.
Yep, director thought it just was a better choice.
Yeah.
I agree.
Gotcha. I'm like, the movies were full on in color at this point, so what happened? But the overall story felt really thin to me. Like, it didn't feel like there was way too much that just didn't get explained. A lot of stuff you just had to kind of make assumptions on, if you even got to a point where you could make assumptions. A lot of unsaid things, which to a certain extent I'm totally cool with, but after a certain number of them, I'm like, okay, you're gonna have to explain like maybe one thing, so I know what's going on too. And that did not happen.
All right, well, my overall thoughts are, I think I'm kind of the opposite. I think this is a masterfully told story with some of the wildest camera work for the time I've ever seen. And not in a bad way by any means, because they were really having fun with it. I'm still torn on the ending, though. I felt like there was a lot of tension that they built up so much tension that kind of just fizzled out. But maybe we'll get down to, maybe we'll figure it out as we go along. So the story itself, let's kind of tell you about it, because I don't know how many people know this. I didn't know this. You didn't know this. So this has nothing to do with The House on Haunted Hill. That is a film by William Castle. Shirley Jackson wrote The Haunting of Hill House. So those two movies have nothing in common, even though they have very similar titles.
Yes.
Because there is a 1959 House on Haunted Hill and the remake, which we've talked about on this show. Those are separate from The Haunting of Hill House. This is the actual first adaptation of Shirley Jackson's book, because the book was written in 1959 and the movie was 1963. So the Hill House book is about 4 people. In this one, it's John Montague, Eleanor Vance, Theodora, and Luke Sanderson. So very minor changes to the names there. They are investigating a famously haunted mansion, Hill House, who experience increasingly terrifying supernatural events that blur the lines between psychological horror and genuine ghosts, focusing heavily on the fragile perspective of protagonist Eleanor Vance, as the house seems to target her. So that makes the movie make so much more sense, because I was thinking it was going to be something similar to what Mike Flanagan did, which is a very loose adaptation of Shirley Jackson's novel, shifting focus from paranormal investigators to the Crane's family multi-generational trauma haunted by the infamous house, though they both explore psychological horror, mental health, and ambiguity around literal versus metaphorical ghosts. While the novel features strangers studying the house, the series centers on siblings and their parents using the house as a backdrop for family drama and individual struggles with grief, addiction, anxiety. So that was the very confusing thing for me when we started this, because I'm like, okay, Nell and Theo, they don't know each other. They were sisters in Mike. What's happening here? So I had to look it up. So I hope that all made sense. So when you went into this, you said you knew Mike Flanagan kind of did his own thing?
Yeah, I was aware that he had pulled focus from the original source material to the Crane family. I was also aware that he took a lot of liberties with who was in the Crane family, because obviously the Crane family was a lot smaller. And but
oh, that's true. Yeah, there was only like 4 of them
total. Yeah, and the thing is I think, Mike is absolutely capable of making a faithful adaptation, but he also is really skilled at recognizing what's important. Like when he made Dr. Sleep, and he said, we cannot ignore the movie. We can't ignore it. That's what the people know.
Right.
And
the people know, I feel like the people know the movie more than the book. Exactly.
So in this case, I feel like instead of focusing on the people investigating the house in the aftermath of all the things that have happened there, he chose to focus on what happens to a family trying to live in this house with all that weight and all that energy and whatnot. Like, he chose to focus on a stronger point while still keeping that what power does that house hold integrity alive, because they all have that what power is in that house, what can it make you do, what control does it have, what lies there, what makes it so strong. Because at first it's just a house.
Yeah.
Every house is just a house. This house was evil from the get-go.
Well, let's be specific. This is a fucking like Victorian mansion.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying
just in case people,
yeah. Every house is a house. This house was made and is somehow evil from day one.
Right, because the very beginning of the movie starts. I mean, I really like that too. I feel like I didn't look this up, and I probably should have. But the opening narration feels like it had to have been like the first chapter, or like the first couple sentences out of the book, because the way it's being read makes me feel like it was something that was written by Shirley Jackson, because it's like, this house was built 90 years ago and will stand for 90 more, and it's just been evil since it was made. And you're like, all right.
Yeah.
I feel like it sets up the movie, though, very well, because, I don't know, I guess I expected to see something in this movie. But it was very much like the house is alive and the house is doing this. There aren't ghosts in this house. This house is just fucking crazy evil. I don't know.
And even then, what the house does is limited to mostly doors for some reason.
And like noises.
Specifically noises and doors. And you don't really see anything, but everyone's afraid. It's
visibly.
It's like a looming presence in the house. And it's funny because like one of their biggest proofs that it's haunted is cold spots. Fun fact, those houses aren't like hella insulated, so a cold spot in a mansion would not be that weird. I mean, Jesus, this is a brand new house we live in. There's fucking cold spots in here, okay?
Our room
is Arctic cold.
Oh,
My
so
office
nice.
will be Arctic cold one day, burning hot the next day. It doesn't make any sense.
It's the ghosts, man, or the house.
Well, like I know our house, it's really about where the sun is and whether or not it has a chance to warm up during the day.
Yeah,
but you know, Victorian houses, they're made of wood. They're not like super crazy insulated. They're not filled with fiberglass.
That was a brick fucking mansion.
Well, like they're brick and wood, and you know they're not insulated.
I don't think homes were like foam insulated. Like
fun fact, again,
asbestos maybe.
A lot of those houses would be insulated with like, I don't know specifically Victorian, but older houses would be insulated with like straw, sometimes newspaper, or sometimes they just hang shit on the walls like tapestries, because why not hang a big carpet on the wall? That'll keep the cold from coming through. Cold spots are just not unusual. That's what I'm saying.
Be a great place to record a podcast with all those carpets on the wall. Great for deadening sound.
Have you thought of taking all this down and just getting some really big tapestries?
I could just hang up 4 carpets around us and box us in real nice.
Yeah, just right around the room, but leave everything on the walls. So, it wouldn't be weird or hot. But, yeah, really the biggest evidence you see that the place is haunted is the breathing door. That's it.
That was...
I mean, it was sick. It was so cool.
That was so impressive for 1963, and I can clearly tell that the Haunted Mansion definitely stole that idea for the ride. Yeah,
it's so cool. That's it. That's your strongest evidence. You don't see ghosts. Someone writes something in chalk. That could have been anybody. You hear loud banging noises. That could have been anybody. Nothing moves. There's no, nothing moves aside from that door breathing. And they're like, well, this door closed itself. Nobody saw that shit.
Well, there is a door that swings open when they're in the atrium or whatever. Wherever the fucking statue of the Cranes is. Yeah. The door like swings open. Like, oh, it's probably the wind.
Yeah, which...
Who knows?
Totally possible. Like nothing is concrete. You have to decide if you believe, because most of your "this is definitely happening" stuff is coming from Nell's inner monologue.
Yeah, and that's what I didn't understand at first, because at first you hear narration, which I believe is Markaway, because he mentioned something about I wanted to meet Mrs. Sanderson, and then he pops up on screen. And then you don't have any narration until the end. But then you get inner monologues from Nell. And I was wondering, okay, is like everyone going to have an inner monologue? But until I read the synopsis myself, the story is centered around Nell, who as a character, what is the fucking deal with this lady? 0 to 100, like insanely quick.
Oh, someone said her gay panic was off the charts.
Oh, I mean...
No, probably not that. But it just literally, And I don't want to really say hysterical because it is sexist. But
I don't feel she was being hysterical.
No, she'd be totally fine. And then in a panic and we're freaking out. And why is everybody doing this? And then now I'm fine again. Like, girl.
See, I didn't find it. Usually when like women are called hysterical in movies, she just was getting so animated. I look at that as being animated, not hysterical, because usually hysterical is like, oh, woe is me. She just got angry quickly.
Yeah, well, that's there's like scales on that, but
yeah. I mean, there was a fainting couch that she didn't even faint onto. Come on,
she did wake up there.
She did wake up there.
Yeah. But she would go from strong, assertive to panicked and just really animated and really nervous. And why is everybody acting this way? And then she'd get defensive. Then she'd get upset. Then she'd come back down again. I'm like, girl, I think you need medication because, like, I'm tired watching you go through this, like, whirlwind of emotion every 10 seconds. Like, I think when we were watching it, I was like, I bet she has whiplash.
Yeah, I think you need some mood balancers there because you seem just off all the time. Maybe eat a Snickers. You'll act more like yourself. But you kind of get a good look at her character. But not really. We don't really get much explanation other than the fact that she's clearly not respected in her family. Her sister and I guess her brother and their kid, who was a very, fuck that kid, is so annoying. And they never explain the blinking either. When she's like,
damn it.
Auntie Nell is blinking. And what was with the blinking? But
she was blinking so much in the beginning that we were just like, I gotta stop looking at her because she's making me blink too much and I don't like it.
I thought it was maybe a nervous tick or something, but then it doesn't really happen.
It never gets mentioned again.
It never gets mentioned. She's just extremely keyed up, and I guess it's from her family who were just kind of rude to her. They kind of demean her, but her temperament was stressing me out. I was like, pick a lane, lady. Can you just be more in the middle? Because these two extremes are just too much for me to handle. And she did have some sort of poltergeist experience when she was 10, which I wouldn't call this a poltergeist experience. Mm-hmm. I would call this a fucking act of God, where it rained rocks on her house. Sounds like Stephen King kind of ripped that idea off for Carrie, if you ask me. Anyways, and she just refuses to acknowledge that it happened. It gets brought up by Dr. Markaway, and she's like, nope, didn't happen. So it's like, I don't...
And then never mentioned again.
And then never mentioned again.
Yeah, so the only supernatural stuff that you get from is from Theo because she's got some ESP, and that was interesting. They don't overuse it, but sometimes it feels like it gets picked up and put down at random.
Exactly.
But she's the only one who really shows any kind of indication because if you think about how this is set up, it's so odd. So this doctor,
he's an anthropologist.
Yeah, an anthropologist decides to get two psychic women, one who's proven she has some gifts, and then one who had an experience when she was 10 that somehow he found out about.
Yeah, that was kind of weird too.
And then the dude who owns the house all get together so they can...
The heir of the house, Luke Sanderson.
Can find out if the house is haunted. So, you just picked two random ass women, brought them out to the middle of nowhere with with a random other guy to lock them in this big ass house where you can't find anything. And that was your scientific study. You're a terrible anthropologist.
Well, remember he had I think it was Nella at one point said, "Are we the only people here?" It's like, well, there was a few others, but they never, they didn't show up.
Yeah, never. Where'd they go?
Yeah, where'd they go? What happened to them?
And he brings no equipment. He conducts literally no studies.
Oh God, he really doesn't. Yeah,
he doesn't run any tests. They're literally just chilling out in the house to see if anything happens. He is conducting absolutely no studies on this house, and bro doesn't bring so much as a fucking Ouija board or a tarot deck in there. He literally just, the one scientific thing he does is, hey, did everyone notice this cold spot? Come stand here.
That's very
terrible answer.
Very accurate.
Terrible anthropologist.
Now that you're saying this out loud, it's so accurate. I really wasn't. I guess I was intrigued by the story because throughout the whole runtime, I was constantly looking around the camera for something, and I think that's what this movie does very well. Is you're constantly looking for something, and then you don't get it, so you never stop looking. But then by the end, it feels kind of like a slap in the face. Like, God, I spent all this time being anxious. and I didn't even get like a payoff for it. So it's like part of me likes the ambiguity of, is this home haunted or is it just all in their heads? But then it's like, it's almost too much ambiguity.
Well,
what are we doing here?
And fuck, his wife shows up midway through their thing and is like, hey, the reporters have sniffed you out. They sniffed out that he's sitting in this house because he's not doing shit in here. And so then she goes out there, but he's immediately annoyed she's there. She's clearly so far over his bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's like, all right, let's see this haunted house.
She was such a throwaway character, though. There was no reason for her.
And it was so funny because if you think about it from her perspective, if this is the kind of if this is the kind of quality of work he's doing, and he is balancing his whole career on proving that ghosts exist, and he's not actually doing any work, he's just, throwing it out there for everybody with no evidence and no effort to actually collect the evidence. If the fact that he says that Nell might have to leave because if she is having delusions, it'll ruin the study. What fucking study, bro? Like, I'm sorry, you've got psychics in a house, no real witnesses, and no equipment. You're recording nothing.
Yeah.
So when his wife shows up and she's like, yeah, let's go see this haunted fucking house. Put me in the spookiest room.
I mean,
to me, she like comes off as this, oh, his nagging wife shut up. But really, she's, all right, let's see this shit you're constantly talking about and ruining your career over.
Oh, I didn't take her as a nagging wife at all. I took her exactly.
He did.
No, yeah, I thought you said who. Okay.
I think that's how she's meant to be taken.
Oh, yeah, I didn't take her like that at all. I would be doing the same thing because you're right. If this is the caliber of study he's bringing to the table with no real equipment or really not doing anything, I'd probably be very annoyed too. But I mean, I don't even know what they had access to in the 1960s in terms of like paranormal investigative resources.
Even on the base level of, we're talking like
you
old
could do EVPs, like with microphones and shit.
You could have recording equipment. You need to log things, like log experiences, document them. You could be checking temperatures in the house, because thermometers still exist, bro. They could absolutely be doing recordings. They could be holding seances to see if they make any contact, taking film or photographs.
True. Spirit photography. Yeah,
exactly. They have what the hell are those? The rods, that you hold in your hand.
Oh yeah, the two like brass rods. You ask the I don't know, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, those
don't
that like cross and don't cross. They have those. You have so many different ways. Bro brought cigarettes.
He did bring cigarettes.
Yeah, and they're worried about table service. But at no point do they actually get to conducting a study. As soon as Nell starts freaking out, which he wants to see something spooky, someone experiences something, and he's immediately like, well, we got to send her home.
Yeah, that was kind of strange.
What? Yeah, but go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, according to a quick Google search, apparently 1959 is when the modern is when EVPs start, like that was like the first recorded EVP was 1959. Frederick Jurgensen's pivotal discovery of voices on his recordings. So there you go. I don't know how accurate that is, but this is 1963, so I'm sure that's the thing. It's like I don't know. That's so long ago. I don't know exactly what was known back then about hunting ghosts per se.
Yeah.
You got a lot of haunted house movies around that time. I mean, Haunting of Hill House was that was also, like I said, House on Haunted Hill, but that was the ending of that movie is.
There was a certain point that like holding seances and stuff and doing that was trendy. In like the Victorian era.
Oh yeah.
Those were some spooky bitches, okay? They love doing that shit. So it's not like that stuff didn't exist and it's divining rods.
Oh yeah, those things.
I got there. It's fine.
Nailed it.
So to shoo out the one person who's experiencing something and to adamantly be opposed to anyone going in the room that is marked to be the most haunted. Why would you not go in the most haunted room if you're trying to prove anything? And also, because at the end of the day, he's going to have word of mouth, which in fact is nothing.
I mean, wasn't that the thing back then in 1963? That's all you had was word of mouth.
Yeah.
Take my word for it. Yeah, those are some strong points that I really didn't think about until now.
You were very focused on the camera work.
I think
It was such good camera work.
It was some of the most unique camera work I have ever seen. And it's a movie that is 63 years old. That's crazy to me.
I just want to point out that at the time this movie came out, my dad was our daughter's age.
Yeah.
Almost to the month.
Oh, wow. That's weird.
Isn't it weird?
That's weird.
Yeah.
Also, because every movie this year I've been buying physical copies for. So I have a physical copy of this and we watched it on Blu-ray and it looks great.
Yeah.
For being 60 something years old. The quality of film is great. And the camera work is just so Looney Tunes, but in a good way. And I really feel like they made that house. It's like The Conjuring. Remember when you said that opening shot, it feels like the house is watching them?
Yeah.
I feel like James Wan had to have seen The Haunting and kind of drew inspiration from that because it's not just the opening scene with The Haunting. It is the entire time that they're at the house. This house feels like it is watching them just based on the camera and how it moves and how things are placed. It feels like a character of its own, this house.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like, even though Nell's the main character, it's like, no, that house is the main character of this movie.
Respectfully, if they hadn't given her an inner monologue, Nell would be the least interesting character.
Yeah, and I'm wondering why. I would have, honestly, I would have loved to see it from Theo's point of view so much more.
Actually, I'm glad they didn't do it from Theo's perspective because she, like I said when we were watching it, she has such a black cat energy. She holds things back, but also says anything she feels like she wants to. She knows what to give and take. She has a lot of confidence, but and I really like her character.
Oh, yeah. And of course, in Mike Flanagan's, that's played by his wife, Kate Siegel, who does an incredible job. And I love the addition that, because really her psychic abilities in the miniseries are much more explored than in this movie. And the whole glove thing I thought was fascinating. Like she has to wear gloves.
Absolutely.
She has to wear gloves because if she doesn't, then it's just too much. It's like sensory overload.
Yep.
Yeah. But I did love that scene with Theo in this movie where someone mentions to Nell, I believe, like to not, or Dr. Markaway, like don't play cards with Luke because he's a card sharp. And then you see Theo playing with Luke and she beats him 5 times and he's like, there's no way. And you're like, there's her clairvoyant abilities. All right, cool.
Which I think is funny because they straight up said she identified, when she was given a test, she identified 19 out of 20 cards that were, I don't know why, out of sound specifically, but out of sight and sound.
Right.
And like, yeah, if someone said that, I don't want to play cards with you.
I don't want to play cards with you either. Pass.
Especially for money. But Theo is really the most supernatural thing about the entire film.
I mean, she was more supernatural, yeah, than the movie. But I think it really does. Like, my biggest takeaway from this movie is this all psychological or is this supernatural? Like, and I think the ambiguity is key because you can literally go either way with this one. It can all be psychological, like in their heads, or it can be like this house is alive. And I think that's kind of my biggest takeaway is how do you determine, like, if you watch this movie, what do you get from it to determine whether this is actually happening or not happening? Yeah.
And I think digging into some other parts of it, even if you kept it ambiguous, would have made the film stronger. Like, I remember in the Haunting, the remake of The Haunting.
I was waiting for that one to come up, which we've reviewed on this show. Go check it out.
Yeah. Nell's character, if I recall correctly, the way they bring her in, she thinks she's going for a sleep study. They lie and get those people there and say it's for a sleep study. Mm-hmm. In the weirdest house to sleep study in. But I feel like it's kind of insinuated very lightly that Nell kind of has this attracting presence to supernatural. Like that's why the doctor wants her there, because she had this supernatural thing happen to her and maybe more supernatural things. But honestly, rocks landing on your house and that's the end of that context is such a weird pick to be like supernatural.
Yeah.
Because that's weird shit like that happens sometimes. The earth is weird.
Okay.
But, I think if it had been more explicitly stated, she has this tendency to bring out the supernatural. That might have made her presence there make more sense. And also if we had at any point gotten an explanation for why, because without that information, okay, she had rocks fall in her house when she was 10, and now she's obsessed with this house, but also hates the house, but also wants to stay, but also this house is awful, and then stuff seems to be specifically happening to her, but why? And then they kind of make it seem like Crane is haunting her, but is he, or does she just think it's Crane?
Right.
So, like, if they'd given a couple more pieces to her, different pieces than they gave, I think that would have made sense. And a side note, I think it was an absolute waste not to let her fall right off that fucking railing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The way the film ended, to me, was so much weaker than if she had looked at him, tilted back, and whipped herself right off the back of that railing and been like, yeah, I know you're up here to save me, but I'm out.
Well, especially with that really wicked shot when she's looking at that exact spot of the house and the camera is up there and it does this jarring, I don't know how they did this, but it's like a quick edit, like rush down to her. And I thought that was foreshadowing, the foreshadowing of her possibly falling out of the window. So when we got to that point, I was like, oh, fuck, they're actually going to throw her off this roof or whatever. And to just drive away with the steering wheel going back and forth because the ghosts don't want you to leave, and then you crash into a tree, which somehow equivalates to you tilting the car on its side. I was okay. And then Grace is out there too.
Well, now, what happened to Grace? I'd also be more interested in what the hell's going on with Grace. But she pops out of
like a hidey hole.
So if you look at that room they're in, it's a tower with a pointed roof.
Uh-huh.
That tower goes all the way up, but somehow she's in a hidey hole that technically I think would go out to the outside of that wall. And somehow, despite the hidey hole being between Nell and the doctor, he doesn't see his wife. It's a big ass hidey hole. It's not like she poked a little hole out. It is a straight up door.
It's like a trap door.
It's like a trap door, and it's a couple of feet wide. So if he, does he have vision problems on the left side? I thought
that was a strange choice to just have her, it was like a jump scare.
But not. It was a jump scare if you were Nell.
Yeah. I just was like, what the hell? I was like, is that Grace?
Yeah.
What the fuck is she doing here?
She's been fucking going through it.
Who's the only person in the movie to get lost in the house. No one else got lost.
No, remember Theo and Nell did a little bit in the beginning.
Well, the doctor and Luke heard a dog outside, and they went, they saw a dog, so they went to chase the dog, and then Theo and Nell were together, but I don't know, getting lost to the point of looking like that.
Yeah.
No one else seemed to get lost.
And it felt like a waste not to let Nell die there. Like the tragedy, there would have been more tragedy to her, not the house wanting her to stay, her accepting that, and her dying in the house than it was that she crashed her car directly into the tree that the original Mrs. Crane died. It was symbolic. It was symbolic, but it was not as powerful as if she had fallen off, especially since she was the caretaker. If she died where the caretaker for the last Crane woman died, that would have been more powerful. Now, I don't know what the fuck happens in the book, though, okay? So
that's true. I have not read the book. I should state that. It really did just feel like a waste to have her drive into a tree. I don't know. I get the symbolism. I understand it. It's fine. But it's not very impactful. Plus, she was not going near fast enough down
those cars are way too strong for that.
Down a dirt fucking road with a car from the 60s that's made out of just solid steel. Yep. There's no way.
No.
It just didn't make sense. If she had driven off a cliff or something, oh sure, but she hit a tree at probably 20 miles an hour and the car was destroyed.
Yep.
I don't get it. I feel like, God, I like this movie so much more before we started dissecting it. But that's what I like about talking about movies, because you bring up a lot of good points, because there was a terrible study on what was going on. I guess he was just relying on people to do kind of the work for him.
That's the thing. There was a lot of strong interest things in the movie. It just wasn't the plot.
Yeah.
Like Theo, interesting character. Would love to hear more about that.
Right. Love her and Mike Flanagan's.
Right. Theo, very interesting character. The gay panic in that between her and Nell was ridiculous because the second Theo walks onto screen and starts talking to Nell, lesbian.
Yeah.
100% a lesbian. There's no way she's not gay. And what?
Oh, no, I was just going to say something quickly on that. And there is obviously the queer subtext there, and they had to keep it very subtle because it was 1960s.
Yeah.
Or it was the 60s and censorship back then. So it was there for sure, but it had to be subtle to get, which is crazy to think that a lesbian couple wouldn't get past censors. That's a wild time.
They couldn't get lesbians kissing on TV until Buffy.
I know. It's just crazy to think. So, but you're right. It's totally there. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, and Nell kind of being into it, but then backing up really hard. She was, on her own tilt-a-whirl of feelings.
Did you notice, though, that every time she backed away, it was because of the house? Like the house started doing something.
Yeah.
It's almost like...
The house didn't want them.
Don't be lesbians. And also the house is very misogynistic because not one fucking man has died at this house. Call back to the thing you said at the beginning of the episode. All women, because you said that Mr. Crane died there, but no, he left his daughter and his wife to go to England and died in a pond in England. So this house has not killed one man. Very weird.
Yeah.
Very strange. Sorry, I totally cut you off and interrupted you. I apologize.
I was just talking about gay people. You hear how he's trying to silence the gays?
Talk about the symbolism between them.
Yeah, there was a lot of tension between them. Theo is a very strong personality and very unabashed. And I think that if this were made today, I mean, obviously we did do one, but if this movie had been made today, they would have. It would have been a lot stronger. It would have. Their relationship felt really similar to the girls in Bly Manor.
Yeah, well, Theo is a lesbian.
I'm not talking about Haunting of Hill House.
No. I know.
Well, I know that. I'm saying I know that they made her lesbian. I'm saying that the way that played out, where like there's a lot of tension and subtext, and then they kiss. I feel like their relationship would have played out more that way had it been allowed at the time.
Well, shout out to Mike Flanagan for just fully establishing that Theo is a gay character. Because it's true to the book, or at least to the queer subtext of the book in the movie. So to just make her outright gay was, I thought that makes me respect the choice of that much more. Because first, when I watch it, I was like, oh, she's gay. Oh, okay, cool. But now there's actually like a reason behind it because of the source material. So that's like makes me appreciate Mike Flanagan even more.
Oh, Jesus. Even in, the remake of The Haunting, Catherine Zeta-Jones is given strong lesbian vibes, and I think they straight up say she has a girlfriend and a boyfriend or something like that.
Oh, my. Now we have to rewatch that.
Sure.
Oh, no.
I'll watch that Cheese Fest any day of the week. Every time that came on at Sci-Fi, I'm like, hell yeah, what time is that at?
Some of the most terrible CG you'll ever see.
Oh, it's just, oh, God, it's awful.
It's terrible.
But, they also were like, yeah, no, there's no way Theo's not gay.
Right.
The way she's assertively gay as much as she could be at that time.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah. So part of me really enjoys, like, I don't even know anymore. Well, I don't even know if I like this movie anymore. I don't understand because so much of it from how the style of the movie is great, but really when you break it down, I don't even have any answers. And that's the whole point is he's leaving it for the audience to make their minds up. Sometimes I like ambiguity. Sometimes I don't. I don't know where I sit with this one. I just wish certain events would have played out differently. I'm okay with not seeing a ghost because it kept me on edge the entire time because
that's fine.
I kept searching for a fucking ghost. And I really think Flanagan was pulling from this movie, obviously, because did you notice in a lot of the shots that there was a statue in frame?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. It feels like it felt like the house was watching them and the statues felt like the eyes.
Well, I mean, I'm specifically...
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Specifically from Flanagan's because of all of those hidden ghosts. It's like he saw the movie and was like, ooh, I could make this fun and have ghosts that we're just not talking about in the background of like 42 different shots.
Oh, there's so many more ghosts that every time someone's like, here's some more ghosts you didn't notice. Like, Jesus Christ, was there just like an army of extras? Like, all right, ghost people, hide.
I feel like Flanagan was like, all right, this is where the shot's going to be. Fucking get the best hiding spot you possibly can.
Just put your fingertips right here.
Yeah.
You don't even need to be all the way. Just just a little bit right there. All right, ghost.
Yeah, ghosts. So I think he definitely pulled from the statues of this movie and did that. And then, of course, that brilliant moment when we both looked at each other and you were like, Flanagan, you brilliant bastard, when Nell was dancing around the atrium or whatever the fuck that thing's called. That's exactly what Nell did in the miniseries when she's convinced she's dancing with her husband that died, right?
In the miniseries,
yes. Yeah. And for the longest, not for the longest time, but for quite some time, you know, if you've seen the miniseries, you know the correlation between, because I don't want to spoil it, you know the correlation between the who the bent neck lady is. And I really thought at one point we were going to get that from this movie because of how many, like that one girl who hung, or the one who hung herself. And I was like, holy shit, are we going to get like bent neck lady? And we don't. And I was like, damn it. So that's entirely Mike Flanagan's own like stuff going on. So I don't know. I expected certain things, even though I didn't know the source material. And I'm kind of in the middle with this movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it has a lot of good, but it has equally as much questions.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of great stuff about this. There's just stuff that wasn't that strong, that could have been stronger.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't really have much else here. I would talk about the tropes of haunted house movies, but I mean, really at this point, I don't think there's established tropes in 63. I don't know. This movie's a little bit past my knowledge of when tropes were established. I think that's probably a good stopping point. Is there anything that you didn't get to mention that you wanted to mention before we wrap up here?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So that is The Haunting from 1963. Let's move on to the final cut. Post-review stuff here. Taglines. That is way too long of a tagline. I don't know why I even put that on here. At Hill House, the dead don't stay quiet. You may not believe in ghosts, but you can't deny terror. And scream, no one will hear you. Run, and the footsteps will follow you. For in Hill House, the dead are restless. But are they?
Not really.
Because at one point you hear a fucking baby crying. Did a baby die that I was unaware of? I don't remember a baby death.
I don't remember that either.
Anyways, trivia. Director Robert Wise read a review of Shirley Jackson's novel, The Haunting of Hill House, in Time magazine and decided to get the rights to the novel. He later met the writer herself to talk about ideas for the film. He asked her if she had thought of other titles for the novel because the title would not work for the film. She told him that the only other title she'd considered was simply The Haunting. So that's what Wise decided to use. Most of the film was shot through lens that added curvature to the walls, making the house seem even more strange. This is what you call a, oh my God, it just left my head.
That's a long name for a lens.
What fucking Carpenter used
Aperture.
in Halloween. Oh my God. Michael's going to be so pissed at me when he hears this. What the fuck is the name of that lens?
Fisheye or aperture?
No,
Aperture?
I said it last night when I was like, ooh, this lens.
Does it start with an O?
Oh my God.
Dialapoda.
That's a dinosaur, I think. Oh,
Diameter.
Anamorphic. Oh my God. Anamorphic lens.
That's what I said.
You said Dilapidous or something.
I said delicious.
Oh my God. Anamorphic lens. Holy cow. Anyways.
Yeah, it's the Animorphs.
Animorphs. We talked about this. Robert Wise shot the film in black and white because he loved the depth and rich atmospheric quality of black and white, and it just felt suitable for the genre. Director Martin Scorsese named this his favorite horror film, and that that tracks. For some of the scenes in which characters are tormented by loud ghostly sounds coming from the house, Robert Wise had the sounds on playback so that the actors could react to them authentically. It was a technique they found especially useful and effective for creating just the right mood of terror. And listening to the audio commentary on The Haunting, I can tell you he talks exactly about that. So this is 100% true. Because some of these I'm like, I don't know, is this accurate? No goofs that I could find interesting. Rated 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb. For our purposes, it will be a 3.7 out of 5. 3.8 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Has an 87% on the tomato meter and an 82% audience score. What did you give this movie?
3.5.
3.5. That's where I'm at. Like, usually when I say I'm in the middle on movies, it's usually a 2.5, but I can't deny how good the movie was shot. So with that, we have a Frightmare index, a nightmare index of 3.63. We're going to round up because it's 3.625. So we'll say 3.63 for the nightmare index. This is the first movie on that. So it falls right at number 1.
Yay.
For now. It's not going to get interesting until, we get later into the year.
2 movies in.
Similar movies according to IMDb, we have The Innocents, 1961, The Changeling from 1980, The Haunting, of course, the remake, 1999, House on Haunted Hill from 1959, and Carnival of Souls. Similar movies according to Letterboxd. You would not believe it when I tell you, but The Haunting from 1999, 1408, The Changeling, The Woman in Black, and the others. Let's do some funny reviews. Did you get any?
Yes.
Oh shit. I'll let you. Well, how many do you have? 4. All right, I'll go first then. 4 stars from Ashton. Eleanor really walked into Hill House and not even 1 second later said, "I love my new forever home." Yeah, what was with that? She was, I love how.
That's what I'm saying. They don't explain it.
She just expected when she was on her way there to like, maybe I won't have to leave. This isn't permanent. What? It's
exactly.
It's a study.
We're like missing some chunk information about Mel.
Go ahead.
3.5 stars from Lexi Ribbon. Let's get one thing straight. Theo is not.
Yeah, I had that one. That's great. 3.5 from Cinema Void. A house that was born bad and eats trauma for breakfast faces its biggest challenge yet. Loud lesbian lodgers.
3.5 stars from Horror Syndrome.
God damn it.
Hugh Crane really didn't want these 2 women scissoring in his house.
Yep, I had that one too. 4 stars from Slayer in Salem. I don't like that name. It's too hard to say. Auntie Nell is blinking. Auntie Nell is blinking. What a punchable kid.
5 stars from
Ooh.
Fell. At last, something is really, really, really happening to me. Really cool documentary about how lesbians have ESP.
Is that all?
No, I said I had 4.
Did you do? Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. You took 2 of mine. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
4 stars from Lee. Gay, 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 gay. That's the whole review.
That's the whole review. Jesus Christ. Oh, my goodness. If you enjoy the show, please rate and review on your favorite podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Slasher Threads, and YouTube at Frightmares Podcast. Our email is stayspooky@outlook.com. You can follow me personally on Letterboxd at Dr. Proctor. You are...
Watson LMP 90.
Booyah. If you'd like to expand your movie podcast listening, check out the Shameless Picture Show, the Dead-Eyed Millennial Film Club, and 1 Week Rental as well. Next week, Michael and I will be doing something called The Nesting. Oh my God, I forgot an explanation. So real quick, I'm so sorry. We have 5 movies a month. We have an essential viewing, a deep cut, a modern, a international, and a wild card. These are all curated by me and what I am deeming to be these choices. It's not necessarily like this. I felt was essential because most people have probably seen Mike Flanagan's The Haunting of Hill House, and I bet you those people haven't seen this. So anyways, long story short, that's what we're doing. Totally forgot to say that up top. Next week, Michael and I will be doing The Nesting from 1981. So until then, stay tuned and
stay spooky.